Steve Davis tells more of his story of beautiful artwork and a beautiful mural downtown in McMinnville. That much more on this edition of Community Insider.
Yeah, I think they tore down the station in the early 60s, 61, 62, something like that. Of course, I lived right downtown, or just off the main street on Sparta Street. So I remember all these old places, the old drugstores, of course the Park Theater, donut shop over on the other side of the Black House. I spent a lot of time downtown. That's back when little kids could go downtown without supervision, you know.
The MyUsage app is a way to conveniently pay online, anytime, day or night. You can also come by any Caney Fork Electric office and sign up for the prepay option available using the MyUsage app. Know exactly how much electricity is used each day and the cost. Best of all, no monthly bill. You can set up email or text alerts, keep track of your usage, and pay your bill, all with the MyUsage app from Caney Fork. Caney Fork Electric, keeping you informed.
Communitytvtn is brought to you by Security Federal Savings Bank, proudly serving the community we call home.
Grace Family Pharmacy announces new medication packaging service. It provides a simpler, safer medication experience through convenient, personalized packaging using the latest in pharmacy robotics. We're located at 357 West Main Street. Our phone number is 931-473-6418.
McMinnville, you're a great place to be. McMinnville, Tennessee. Such a time as this, I was made for this.
Not many things last a lifetime, but when they do, there's something special. Dr. Pepper. Good for life, good for the community.
From the small towns in our community to the big hearts in our own back door. This is their stories. This is a part of their life shared with you. On this edition of Community Insider's Life Stories, we feature Steve Davis of Davis Signs. Since 1977, he's had his business, but he's been creating art for some time. We asked Steve how long he's been painting.
Well, let's see. I guess 65 years, probably. 65 years. That goes back to elementary school.
So how did you know you had a gift? Tell me about your history with painting.
Well, let's see, I guess the first thing is, in elementary school, I started drawing comic books. And so I would draw 6, 8-page comic books, put them in a folder, and I was selling them to fellow students. But that got me in trouble. I was called into the principal's office. You know, you can't do that here. Wow. You can't sell comic books to... So that ended that. No, I didn't end my comic book days. I mean, I did that through probably middle school. But I was always drawing, you know, painting. I guess the first sign I ever painted was probably when I was 16, I guess. It didn't turn out very well, but.
Remember what sign it was?
Yeah, I think I do. I think it was for Ernest Morton's out on Smithville Road. Ernest Morton's, he had a kind of like a little gun shop, fishing shop. I forget what he called it, but it was for him, I think. That was back in the 60s, probably 69, 68, 69. Then I painted some things for the JCs on garbage cans, advertisements on garbage cans. No, they weren't very good either. That was probably a year or two later.
When did you open your own business?
In McMinnville, 77, but I'd already been doing some freelance work in Murfreesboro for 2 different sign shops back in before that, a couple of years before that. But since 77, I've been, and I kind of retired about 3 years ago, and just doing things like this. Not doing a lot of commercial signage, just, you know, artwork and things like murals.
Have you done small material?
Well, let's see, I did the big McMinnville sign that Security Federal has down there. I guess that's the biggest one. Carrie Youngblood's got a mural. The old Dr. Pepper sign over there on Morford Street. There's a couple more. Some interior ones. But that's about it downtown I can think of.
Hi, this is Chad Grace from Grace Family Pharmacy, and I am really proud to be here today to talk about the mural that we painted on the corner of 207 West Main Street. We have been very excited about this opportunity to bring back a little history, preserve history for the old bus station. So back in the 50s, that was the Greyhound bus station, and we wanted to bring a little bit of that history back so that everyone else could enjoy seeing that history on the side of that building.
Well, this wall, oddly enough, I wanted to paint this image on this wall before the current owner really even had the building. I thought it would be a neat idea to put the old bus station on this wall. And it just so happened I was called and we discussed signage, and then the mural came up, and I think he was thinking about the same thing, putting up an old image of the old bus station. I think this image is from the 50s, not quite sure. Seems like the clothing styles put it in the 50s, maybe the late 40s. And I'm not really sure when this building was built. It was a Art Deco building, which is a architectural design that I like. And but I'm not sure the date that it was built. But it's I'm using traditional sign brushes and sign paint. For people that have painted signs are familiar with one shot and Ronin colors that were traditionally used on billboards like this way back, even 75 years ago or so. So it's, and the brushes are sort of a stiff brush that you can use on brick and block. They're called fitches, and I like the ones that are angled. The actual bristles are angled. You can get into these little cracks and crevices really easier with an angled brush.
Where do you get your inspiration for some of your creativity?
Well, this is kind of commercial. I guess it's somewhat creative, but I do some fine art painting. I guess if you want to call it that, it'd be more like pop art. Traditional size paintings. And I've done those for years and years. And people might recognize those. The subject matter is more like comic art or pop art. And a lot of the subjects are like cats sitting around watching old black and white TV shows. Those are smaller paintings. Some of them are 8 foot signs or paintings.
Wow.
But
Do you have a place where people can see these?
yeah, just call me and we can set up a time, you know. I do have a studio at home. We do different things there. We have a little carousel that we open up and kids can ride it on Halloween. And we had that in the mid-90s. We took that thing all over the mid-state, set it up several times. And now it's just sort of got a home in the studio at the house. Well, I wouldn't mind doing a few more murals like this, but I guess age is catching up with me, you know. I'm not really climbing a lot now. Ladders are kind of a problem for me, so. But this one is relatively easy. I can just sort of work a little bit lower. So, yeah, if anybody might have something this down low, I might be able to help them out.
We'd like to thank Steve for being a part of our Community Insiders Life Stories. If you'd like to contact Steve about David's signs, or maybe some work, or some beautiful art that you'd like to purchase from him, you can call him at 931-473-3742. We'd also like to thank Chad Graves and the opportunity to take a look at history and also see the art of what will continue to be a part of McMinnville history.